Hi, I'm Ed from Ed's Weekend Adventures. Now, before I was a famous YouTuber making Ed's Weekend Adventures, I was a home builder and I built houses. I was a general contractor for over 30 years. And I was thinking the other day, what's a general contractor's job? To make dreams come true. I mean, when you come to a contractor and you want to build something, it's usually a dream that maybe has lasted for years, maybe a lifetime. And it's his job to make that dream come true. But I found 3 things that can turn those dreams into an absolute nightmare before you even start. So let's talk about them today. The 3 biggest problems that caused untold nightmares and extreme amounts of cash to fix, okay? So let's get into it. The 3 things before you even start you gotta do. I thought we would start at the beginning. First, watershed. When you pull up to the lot where you're going to build a house, now your house, however it's going to be, that roof space, and don't forget your driveway, your parking lot, possible outbuildings, they're all going to shed water. Okay, before you built on this piece of property, it was ground, and ground sucked up all the rainwater, snow, water that ran through your property. That ground sucked it up. It went down under the ground into the aquifer and didn't bother anybody. Now you're going to build. So you've got that whole roof space of your house. You've got that area. Don't forget your driveway. You're going to pave it, and pavement doesn't take in water. At least it shouldn't. So, or concrete. You could concrete your driveway. Same thing. That water is going to shed off. And it's going to go somewhere. And you want to talk about a nightmare. You're talking about a lot of water that can no longer go down into the ground. So it's going to go where? To your neighbors or to the street in front. I have seen untold problems, lawsuits. I mean, ground goes like this. And if you build your house up here, and all your water goes, if you have a small lot and it goes to your neighbor's property, you could have a problem. See what I'm saying? So watershed, it's an important term. If you're thinking about building anything, this goes for commercial too. It's probably, I know there are money issues now. There are thousands of issues that you have to trust a lot of people to solve for you, and that's probably, I want to start with watershed. What are you going to do with all that water? Okay, number 2, septic. This causes nightmares, okay? All right, the nightmares I've seen. First of all, if you're rural and you have an acre or so, let's say you've got to put your own system in. That can be all kinds of problems. I've seen 10 acres where there is nowhere on that 10 acres that would perk. That means suck water down at the proper rate for the municipality inspector that comes out and looks, okay? You're going to have to get an inspector. Now, you can do this before you buy, or you can have in your sales agreement a contingency that says, I'll buy this property if I can put septic on it. You can do that, okay? But hopefully you've got people you can trust. If you don't understand this, make sure you've got someone you can pick their brain, all right? Because right after your runoff water, okay, which is your watershed, the second big problem I've seen is the sewage, the septic system. Because your family of 4 or 5 or 6, even if it's just you and your wife, you got to poop. And that poop got to go somewhere. And it's a problem. It can be the most expensive problem that you have, okay? And this can ruin the whole deal of that piece of property that you love. So, best advice I can give you is know your sewage. Know where it's going. Now, just because there's a lateral, okay, the guy selling you the property, the real estate agent wants your money. And he can say, oh, there's septic just across the street. All you got to do is tie in with a lateral. A lateral is what goes between your house and the municipality's pipe. They have a big pipe, maybe a manhole you got to tie into. All you got to do is just go across there, he says. So give me your down payment now. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Not that easy. Okay, that municipality may say, you are not digging up our township road or our city road. They can say that. They can say, no, you're not going across the street to tie in your lateral. What do you got to do then? You got to drill. If they let you, you got to drill underneath the road. All right, $20,000 to $30,000 right now, okay? And then when you get on the other side, you've got to tie, let's say there's a manhole. Let's say you got to go to the nearest manhole. All right, they got a big old manhole going down in there. And down inside of there, that manhole, they put concrete, they grout underneath the manhole, okay? Now what that does is it kind of directs everyone's pipes going in there out to the main. Okay, you could have to take a jackhammer down in there, dig up all the old concrete and rebuild that bottom. You see what I'm saying here? To include yours, so that your water, your wastewater, and all your poop and toilet paper got to go through a little groove down inside of that manhole cover. That can cost thousands. So you see why I'm saying you have to understand all these principles before you build. So we got our watershed and septic. The first questions you ask yourself when you look at a lot. Okay, you found the lot, you got those two problems solved. What's next? Your blueprint. Okay, now we're talking problems that can occur. So, now you probably think I'm going to go to the foundation, and I've seen nightmares, trust me, okay? So this is not all inclusive. It's just what I have seen cause the biggest problems. Believe it or not, on a blueprint is the stairway, people. The stairway can cause you absolutely nightmares. Now what's a stairs? Let's say you got a one-story house. You're just going from the first floor down to the basement, if you have a basement. That can be a nightmare. Okay, outside usually not a problem if you got someone that knows what they're doing. But let's say you've got a two-story house going from the first floor to the second floor. That should be easy, right? I mean, after all, it's only 8 feet, right? From floor to ceiling, your house is 8 feet. No, not that simple. And I have seen architects, and I've even seen contractors that should know better, and they don't. Absolute nightmares, okay, because it's not 8 feet. You're not going from floor to ceiling. You're going from floor to floor. Okay, there are a lot of things that fall into there. Now let's say lumber's real expensive and your contractor can't afford the 2x10s or 2x12s for your floor joists between first and second floor. And he buys trusses. They can be 14 to 16 inches. Oh, you see where I'm getting at here? Okay. Then you've got your subfloor, your floor. Let's say you were a hardwood person. You like hardwood. Okay, that's another 3/4 of an inch. Holy crap, you can get almost 2 feet more than the 8 feet. See where I'm going? Floor to ceiling? No. Floor to floor. Instead of 8 feet, it could be 10 feet. It could be almost 10 feet. That's a lot more steps. And you know, steps have to be so wide, depending on your local res code. Okay, so that step has to be so full. It takes more steps. The stairway gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It can take a lot of room off your house. When you get to the top of the steps to go into the bedrooms, that hallway, you have to have a railing on that hallway. It has to be so wide. Okay, I have seen houses built, I kid you not, brand new $500,000 homes that when you go down the steps from the second floor to the first floor, you've got 30 inches between your bottom step and the wall. You know what you just did? You diminished the value of that home. So your brand new home that you built, good luck selling it to the next one. When they walk in the door, they're not looking at a blueprint some architect screwed up. They're looking at the house, and they can see this stairway is messed up, or they make the treads too narrow if they get away with it with the inspectors. I've just seen nightmare after nightmare. And my first advice to you, when you get a blueprint, check out the stairway. If you're not understanding it, you have to look at all the specs of the house. How high is my subfloor? How high are my floor joists going to be? What am I putting 5/8 drywall on the ceiling or 1/2 inch? All these things matter. Okay, see where I'm going with this? A stairway can absolutely destroy your dream of a new home. So let's recap just real quick. Watershed before you buy your property. Septic before you buy your property. Before you sign a sales agreement, have some answers. Or make contingencies in that sales agreement. I got to check with an engineer. We got to check these things out before the sale becomes final. Okay, so you can do that and put some money down on the property, and you can get it back depending on your agreement. Know who's filling out that agreement for you, okay? Trust the real estate agent. Don't always trust the seller's real estate agent. You might want to get one of your own and pay him to help you fill out the paperwork. Okay? Next thing, that blueprint. There are so many things. Hopefully you've got a contractor you trust. And even if you do trust them, get a second opinion. Take that blueprint to someone, some old guy like me who's built a lot of homes, and say, hey, old guy. Sometimes you got to trust us old guys. Sometimes young guys got to figure it out too. But hey, what am I saying? But make sure you have checked, double checked, and triple checked. There's room in this house for your stairway, okay? Hopefully we all learned something today. If you did, hey, make sure and subscribe and hit the like button down there. Make me feel better, and that'd be great. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.